Hello there. With a new poll lead of 12 points over the Tories, Nigel Farage and Reform UK look unstoppable. Love him or loathe him, you have to agree that Nigel Farage is once again playing a blinder. And he's not had to enact a single policy to get there. But it's dawning on the Westminster bubble that it's immigration, stupid. No wonder both Labour and the Tories are now desperately trying to push out more anti-immigration messages. With GB News reporting, the Conservatives will today lay out their first bill in opposition in a direct challenge to Labour's failure on immigration. For the very first time since last summer's general election, the Tories are tabling a no-nonsense plan to take back control of the UK's borders, and are set to attack both Labour and Reform UK in the process. And although trying to appear tough on this issue, Labour is coming under fire for its weak attempts to address both border security and illegal and legal immigration. And ministers, as an afterthought to their new immigration bill, are said now to be drafting a white paper on reducing legal migration. But the public wants actions now, not white papers and promises for 2029. And on a personal basis, I much prefer the straight talking of the likes of Rupert Lowe, Ben Habib and Nick Tenconi on these matters. Anything else just accepts the status quo or is mere words to kick the can down the road in the hope that things will sort themselves out. Or worse still, that it's in the hope of pulling the wool over the voters' eyes so they can push their internationalist agenda on them before the general public fully wakes up to the dangers. The people want change and they want change now. But not change built on a Labour, Tory, uniparty establishment, high tax, high spend, anti-UK, pro-globalism agenda. Hence why, hot on the heels of the recent Reform UK shattering of the two sides of the same uniparty state at the May local elections and mayoral elections and the Runcorn and Helsby by-election, Farage now has his sights set on a huge victory in Wales at next year's Senedd elections. And already the battle lines in Wales are looking to be set between Reform UK and Plaid Cymru. With a YouGov poll for ITV Wales and Cardiff University putting Plaid ahead with 30%. Reform UK in second place with 25%. Labour down in third with 18%. The Tories languishing in fourth place with 13%. The Lib Dems following with 7%, followed by the Greens on 5%, and the rest sharing the remaining 2% amongst themselves. And I would surmise that Plaid are picking up the disaffected Labour vote, while Reform will continue to hoover up what remains of the Tory vote. While across the country, Reform UK is now 12 points clear of the Tories and 7 points clear of Labour. And another poll by More in Common puts Reform UK on 27%, Labour in second on 23%. The Tories on 21%, the Lib Dems on 15% and the Greens on 8%. The figure of 3% for the SNP is concentrated in Scotland only, so they'll get far more seats than that 3% might suggest on a national basis. So things are looking extremely promising for Nigel Farage and Reform UK. Now I have to say that although I would like to see Labour and the Tories get a kicking in next year's Senedd elections, I fear that putting Plaid in charge in Wales would create another situation akin to the SNP in Scotland. always harping on about nationalist referenda and pushing the envelope to make sure they are always at odds with Westminster, whatever the merits of the case. You have to remember that Labour's First Minister of Wales, the Mark Drakeford administration, was always trying to do just that. Separate Wales politically from Westminster to try and form Wales into a sort of permanent Labour enclave. I reckon Plaid would be that on steroids, demanding all sorts of carve-outs, tax-raising powers, and given their woke tendencies, all sorts of progressive this and progressive that, and probably demanding special access to the European Union, just like the SNP in Scotland did. And look at how that's turned out. Drug deaths up, literacy down, taxes up, and ferries that don't work. The list goes on in Scotland. But hey, that's just my view. Anyway, Reform UK's mortal enemy, the Tories, have come out with their hard-hitting immigration plans, in the form of a deportations bill. Deportations? Wow! Now that's a new one for one of the two cheeks of the Uniparty rear-end exhaust pipe, isn't it? And the Tories are touting this as an uncompromising alternative to Labour's policies, with proposals to disapply the Human Rights Act from all immigration-related matters. Can you see the courts agreeing with that? Especially the woke lovies in the Supreme Court. Remember, the Supreme Court is the court that interprets the law and issues the judgments, in accordance with international laws like the ECHR that our Human Rights Act enshrines into UK law, with the only step above them being to take it to the European Court of Human Rights itself. And the European Court of Human Rights is never going to rule for anything other than its own laws, is it? No. To do this properly would require leaving the ECHR and scrapping the Human Rights Act as it stands and replacing it with a UK-centric set of human rights laws. That's just for starters, and a subject all of its own for another day. Now, one policy the Tories do have that will be welcomed by many is the mandatory scientific age testing for asylum seekers. No more toothless bearded men in classrooms full of children. Then there's their intention to take the power to deport all foreign criminals, not just those whose sentence is more than a year. The Tories also want to double the indefinite leave to remain residency requirement from 5 to 10 years, but including new rules that could strip that right away, as well as an annual legally binding cap on immigration set by parliamentary vote, and tightening up on visa rules for partners and civil partners, as well as sanctions on countries that are uncooperative to deportations. And finally, remove data protection from foreign criminals and illegal immigrants. And the Tories trumpeted. The Conservatives are today introducing the deportation bill, a bold, pragmatic and deliverable plan to take back control of our borders and restore public confidence in our immigration system. If Labour can't or won't act, we will, and introduce a bill, and Labour MPs can vote against it. Labour and Reform are both complicit in the trade of empty slogans and hollow promises. Our plan can be enacted now to get immigration back under control. But as ever, they know it won't go anywhere. And if they were in power, their majority closet Lib Dem MPs would derail those policies one by one anyway. That's before it even got close to a court. Finally, please like, subscribe and comment below, and a big shout out to our Patreon supporters, and thank you for watching.